Welcome to another Saturday morning Nerd Out. I am Graveyard. We have so much to discuss tonight. Let's get into this without further ado. If I am Balon and I'm planning on making the outfit, she is my apprentice in the Force, the one and only Fray girl.
Hey, I was expecting Mezzo. I was like, I gotta see this. I guess Mezzo would be more of our like Emperor Palpatine. Like, you know, or Thrawn. She might be our Thrawn, I guess. But yeah, I am Fray Girl, and I am here. I am not caffeinated again this morning. So, you know, whatever happens. That's all.
Say Wong, the Salt episode's done, and that was a different channel, so let's get over it.
Wrong season.
Wrong season. Yes. And say Wong, Chuck, and Chris, how you guys doing this Saturday morning? And yes, say Wong, the reason why those were missing, not official Star Wars movies. So, oh well.
Blue Harvest, something dark side. And
not official. Not official. Yes, not official.
I would have wanted. Remember that Stormtroopers fan thing that they did where it was like cops?
Yes.
Oh man, I loved that. That was so clever. Anyway.
Yes, I could have made that list ginormous with Spaceballs, with everything related to it. But if I'm Balon and you are my gray Jedi apprentice, who is potentially?
So you're saying I'm the one with the crazy eyes? I get it. I understand. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, and you know, if that's who we are, we have the one only the Witch of Darkmoor, the old magic herself.
The original Night Sister.
The original Night, yes.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
I've got mine. This is my second mug.
Ooh, here we go.
I usually only drink one, but I was like, 2.
Wow.
You're like, you know, it's a 2 for today.
It's all right. It's a 2 for day.
It's a 2 for day. Yeah.
Hi, say long Fray Girls, and Chris and Chuck.
Yes.
I know Chuck.
You do.
Well, I know who Chuck is.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone's caffeinated this morning, and if not, we have a sponsor for you that will help you get caffeinated itself. Whether you're just waking up for a Saturday morning nerd out, staying up late gaming, or stuck in your retro alcove, or your hearts are just tired from all the saber battles, our sponsor just for you, Dubby. Yes, Dubby has no calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. Each serving has 150 milligrams of caffeine derived from the fruit of the caffeine plant. It contains zero factor and it delivers energy and focus with none of the jitters. So go to www.dubby.gg and use code KCP2023 to get 10% off of your Dubby. And thank you, Dubby, for helping us stay awake on this Saturday morning. We couldn't do it without you. But Speaking of kind of awake, looks like maybe awake, the captain of our ship.
I love you, Aubrey.
Nope, not even a little bit. It's a dream. I'm not really here.
This might be a dream or a nightmare that Graveyard's had.
I don't know
that I'm not here.
The 3 of us. Woo!
Oh no! Woo!
So how's it going, Captain?
I'm not awake yet. It's been good. It's gone good. I could not sleep last night, so That was great.
That stinks. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm
Hey.
so happy to be here with all you lovely people.
But you're here for the
You're
Saber Nerd Out.
lovely.
Yes.
I wouldn't be lovely.
But before we get into the two main points of today's episode, which is our Force Visions-Ahsoka Edition and Captain's Log, we'll switch things up. Let's get into some horror, shall we? Because I know.
Well, I
Love
mean,
me some
that'll
horror.
definitely, if the caffeine doesn't work,
Oh,
the
and
horror will. You'll be awake after that.
and apparently
I don't know.
overlays did not come into StreamYard, so that's fantastic. So I'll just wing it for right now.
Make it till you
Yay,
make
overlays not showing up. All right, so we are discussing
Oh no.
VHS 90 or 85. Did you guys watch the trailer I posted?
I did.
No.
I did.
No.
No. Sorry. I am not prepared for today. I'm gonna be honest.
No worries. So VHS 85, it's now, I think, the 7th entry in the VHS franchise. Have you watched any of them? Anyone?
I haven't seen any of them. I've heard about them, of course.
Okay.
And I say that. I think that's the thing I say the most. If we were ever to do a shirt of me, it would be like, I've seen it, of course.
I have no idea what it is.
All right, so VHS, for anyone who doesn't know, VHS is a found footage type movie that has short films in it with an overlapping connectivity that exists in it. So there's overall narrative, and it's usually people finding VHS tapes and then watching it. So it's an interesting way to have short stories be in a movie, like an anthology movie. So it's great for new directors, stuff like that, to create these short found footage horror movies and encapsulate them into a single movie. We did get some stuff from Ty West, who did in the first couple that went on to create X and Pearl and the new Maxine that's coming out. So his trilogy, which is a homage to 70s horror. So I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we had Scott Derrickson, who went on to direct The Black Phone.
Oh.
So it's an interesting way. And plug for another show on our own channel. Verona Blue was actually in one of the VHS movies.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, cool.
She played the bassist for the punk band that was there in VHS, I believe 84 or 99. But yeah, it was great.
Reminds me of Deer Street films on Netflix.
Yes. So
on that same vein.
Yeah, it's kind of the same vein. But VHS 85, I said, is the 7th one in the entry, and it's just another way. We're going back and forth in time because let's face it, you can only have VHS for so long.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was just copying over while we're talking.
I take it to
So yeah, it's fantastic. I want to know what you guys think. If something you as a series you'd be interested in watching, or you're going to watch at some point in time. Why don't we start with the horror queen herself?
Horror queen.
We just have
Wait, no. Oh my gosh. Okay, you're horror queen. I can be scream queen because I tend to be the one that screams at everything. And Aubrey can be you can be the femme fatale of the horror movie.
Oh.
Because there's always a femme fatale. There's always the one that's like, I'm just here to look sexy and be cute kind of thing, And I feel like that would, because the long hair today.
Mm-hmm.
And we could share Scream Queen if you want.
Like your hair, I know you just woke up. Your hair is like very beautiful bedhead. Hi, distance.
Oh, thank you. I haven't braided, so I haven't braided it.
It looks like when that person wakes up in the movie and their hair and makeup looks perfect. That's exactly what you look like.
Yes.
So I watched.
You guys are so sweet.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer. I've never seen the others, and found footage is done so much now that it has to be done really well to be enjoyable, like to feel new.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked okay. It's a teaser trailer, so it doesn't really reveal much. The whole interrogation part kind of reminded me of Batman's Joker that they just had.
Mm.
But it looks okay. Like I don't really have much of an opinion on it at this moment since it's not much. Oh, there's your VHS85. There you go.
There you go.
I don't have much of a, the teaser trailer only teases. It gives you a little hint. I can't say bad or good yet. So.
Okay. Captain, I know you do enjoy horror movies. You haven't watched any of these before?
No, but I've watched found footage tapes, and they're really a hit or miss with me. I can't really do a lot of shaky cam. So shaky cam, actually, it really makes me very nauseous to watch. Like, I had a really hard time watching like Cloverfield for that reason. So shaky cam and District 9, actually, no, I really love that film. But
can't we just have found footage with someone who has a gimbal?
Yeah, you have to just give me, because it's so hard to watch. And so that part of that is really difficult. But found footage, it's either good or it's bad. I will say that I did watch Blair Witch 3 technically. Recently, like within this last year, and it wasn't terrible. But so if it's good found footage, sure. Like, that's fine. Like home video style. I guess, as long as it's not too shaky, I'm good. Are these like ghost stories, or I don't know anything about this series?
It's all, it doesn't matter what they are. It's just a story that exists. They're not correlated. They don't relate to each other. They're just a filler episode that has the book ending of each thing. So it could be ghosts, it could be aliens, could be demons, it's just all over the place. So it's just a way for people to showcase found footage in short films.
I have a theory.
What's your theory there?
That they find these tapes in this guy's home while trying to find a missing person, and they know that he knows where they're at, and they're trying to now figure out all of the crimes he's caused, and we're finding out about it with the officers.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
It would, yeah. That'd be
interesting.
I mean, quite honestly, in the past, that the bookends don't matter for these movies. So
yeah.
All right, so I want to hear from Fray. What do you think?
Miss, I just realized that I might actually be kind of a horror fan.
Ooh!
You most likely are a horror fan.
I've seen so many horror movies. I just don't a lot of the stuff that like people are like, oh, this is a horror movie. I'm like, is it? That's not really a horror movie. So I think it's just my definition of horror and everyone else's definition of horror is different. So I think that's
okay.
I really used to love the found footage. Now, I actually was that kid that would do those weird little VHS videos when I was a kid. So it's like I love stuff like that, but it does have to be done well, and it has to be done found footage style. It can't have that overproduced, hey, we're pretending it's found footage. No, make it freaking found footage. It needs to be grainy. It needs to be glitchy.
That's fine.
Yeah, it can't be. Oh,
it's a shaky cam I can't take.
Oh my gosh,
everything else is fine.
She look great in this. It's like, no. If it's found footage, it better look like found footage. Yes. And that's my big thing is if you're gonna do it, do it. Go big or go home.
If it's found, I agree with you, Fray. But if it's found footage from like 1985, it better have that 1985 look. I understand what you're saying. Totally get it.
Look where like maybe a little bit of like the bottom of the footage is gone or because a rat ate a little bit of it or whatever because it's from 85.
I don't know if that would.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. That was like a very funny example.
Yeah.
But like
I don't think the VHS would work.
No.
I know, and yeah.
I just tape together. You just tape that.
Yeah. So it's really weird because in today's world you can even have it on your phone where you can have that grainy VHS look, and I think that really takes away from it. So I'm excited for these, but VHS can only go for so long because VHS stopped being a thing. Analog horror has a set time frame that these need to take place into. So maybe eventually we'll have the old DVD series where you had the DVD sets where you just skip chapters randomly or just freeze and have glitches that are pixelated as opposed to analog, which with the scratches and stuff like that. So I'm excited. They're doing it yearly. It's awesome. It's coming to Shudder. So make sure to check out the trailer and let us know on our Discord server in the horror section. I'll link below what you guys think.
And it being on Shudder, I think gives it a little bit more credence than if it were just on like maybe Showtime or something like that. I think because it's Shudder knows horror so well that to me, I would be more apt to watch it because it's on Shudder than I would if it was just on some random pay channel or something.
Yeah, they used to come out in theaters. So now it's just straight to DVD, straight to tape is now straight to VOD in today's world. So
it's a cool concept. It really is. And
sorry, guys.
Like I've said before, nostalgia is in. So.
But
you can have there's games too that you could put a VHS filter on that give you that option.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the
speaking
Lego,
of video games,
the Lego game, that Star Wars Lego game, I still have not 100%ed yet because I'm afraid of success, I think. But you can actually filter all sorts of stuff. You can do like black and white film. You can do them like 8-bit. It's like crazy what you can do. You just unlock them all, and it's like everybody's one of those gonk droids. Oh my gosh, it gets ridiculous. So I absolutely believe that you can have a VHS filter on games.
Oh yeah. But speaking of streaming, PlayStation Portal. I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at what.
So this is PlayStation Switch?
No.
Yes, it's like their version, but not as good.
So
PSN is not that great. Let's be honest.
It's not even that. Okay, so obviously you have Steam Deck, which exists, which is more akin to the Nintendo Switch. I did link the showcase so you guys can look at it. Essentially, I don't know if anyone remembers the Steam boxes that existed a couple of years ago, where you attach.
Isn't that the thing where you had to get in it and then they tied it up here and you just sat there in a box with your head out?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
So a Steam box was a way for you to stream your Steam games from your gaming PC, but anywhere else in your house. So if you only had a certain TV, you attach the Steam box to it and it would remotely attach to your gaming machine and let you play the games. It didn't have any storage. It didn't have any games itself on it, which is why
it's just like a middleman.
You're right. So this is why it's not the Switch, because Switch has its own hardware, has its own games. What the PlayStation Portal is you can take it anywhere that has wireless, and then it'll turn on your PlayStation back at your house, and then you stream to this device. So you're not playing the game.
That's gonna have a lot of lag.
Yes, but you're not playing the game on the system itself. It's just a middleman. It's just a streaming device to let you play games remotely. But you can't load games onto it. So there's been a lot of controversy about this because first off, it's $200 just for the device. And it's probably going to have about 4 hours of playtime. And it has to be on wireless. And
I thought I thought the PlayStation and the portal had to be on the same Wi-Fi.
You can go across the world and play it.
Gotcha. So like I think the only convenience it has is if you have good internet and you want to play your games while you're on a trip or something and you're on Wi-Fi, that's the only plus side I see to it.
Or you only have one TV that has all your multimedia devices. You can still play.
And someone else is using it for something.
Yeah. So, but there's
how many households only have one TV nowadays?
But how many households only have one place for video game systems and media? Well, I'm saying you might have a big only one giant TV to watch movies.
I was kidding, and you're taking it seriously. I said one TV in per room.
Yes.
Like people had multiple TVs in a room. Come on,
Aubrey.
I know. But but the other issue is that it doesn't have Bluetooth, so you can't connect existing earbuds that you have. You have to buy their stuff, and it's $200 for their earbuds. So you have to pay $400 to play your PlayStation 5 games remotely, essentially.
Okay,
and not
Bosley.
disturb anybody. while
We'll
doing
do it for you.
Oh,
What's the
Sony.
mission?
Yeah, so
How
you-
does Sony go and take things that people have that are pretty cool and make them worse?
It's
I think they
not
hired
worse
some
than
people that
Xbox.
used to work at Xbox. Oh, we were making the same kind of joke. Okay.
It's
Wow.
the same principle as like where hair and skincare people, like companies,
Mhm.
that their products will work best with other products of their company.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like skincare and the makeup line, you should use the same of each to have them work the best together. This is the same thing. And this is like, but this is also like no choice though.
Correct.
In that matter.
Yeah.
Like you can use different skincare and makeup and get by just fine. Mine aren't different. A good majority are different. Like, but with this way you have no choice but to buy their earbuds if you want to play without disturbing other people. Which that's mostly what you do on a trip per se, versus like just in your room while someone else is using that
Yeah.
TV. So when you're taking notes
Yeah.
from Apple, right?
I was about to say that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sony is
if-
taking notes from Apple.
if
Yay
anyone-
for
yes.
proprietary shit.
Yeah. So,
Nike.
however, that being said,
He's got the rad ass because I like that.
yeah. So,
Sorry.
Matzo, I gotta ask you now that everyone knows you have one. Do you see a use for you having this? To
No.
play? No.
It's well, we have a Switch. So whenever we go somewhere and play games, that's what the boys take. They have phones, so they play on that. The PlayStation 5 currently is in our bedroom. And the only people who watch things in our bedroom is us. And if the boys want to play the PS5, they have to ask for permission first. So, and you know, and when they're in there playing on it, it's not when we're watching on it, because during the day, what do? We work. We're busy. We don't chill and relax until the end of the day. And by then they're in bed. So
Right.
I don't see a reason to get it, especially with how expensive it is and how much more you have to pay just to not disturb other people.
Right.
And I don't play console myself very much. So,
Captain, what do you think this is worth the price tag? No.
No. The captain says no. Don't waste your money on it. There are better
Exactly.
things out there.
Oh yeah. Fray, I know you're the big gamer.
Yeah, I'm like the biggest gamer here. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I have 5 already. No, I'm just kidding. I don't see a reason for it. I feel like we spend too much time in front of screens anyway.
Mhm.
So to make something more mobile so you can spend more time on a screen, I think is a bad idea. And it's that if it ain't broke, okay, let's introduce something new that'll break it. Like, I mean, that's really it. So it's like, no, I don't think so. We have the Switch. Stop trying to compete with Nintendo. It never works. Do your own thing.
Oh, they do their own thing. This is
They
not
do their own thing.
This is
Yeah,
their
but
own
that's
thing.
what I'm saying is like they don't even have to compete with Nintendo. So why are they even trying to really? Like, because
They're
that's
trying to
the
be the
thing
newest
is
and
with
latest.
the Nintendo Switch is it's portable. Yeah, it's got its own brain, but it is still kind of a competition thing. Like, oh, you don't even need a brain for this one. It just totally gets all your games from your
Yeah.
home base, and it's just like, why?
Right. So my thoughts as someone that has
My
every
son.
stupid video game system in existence.
yeah, we know.
So
We
to
know.
to me, this is the idea is good. The time frame is bad. Because let's face it, because if you go, hey, I have this Super Nintendo growing up in the 90s, right? But I want to play Mario on the go, you had to buy a completely different system with completely different games. That was the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sega also did it with the Game Gear. You want to play Sonic, where you had to buy a different system to buy a different game. That being said, Sega Genesis came out with the Sega Nomad, which you physically took your actual game cartridges and you put it into something and you played the actual games on the go.
Right.
So that's what the Switch kind of model is right now. And Sony always did this with the PSP, or the PlayStation Vita, where you had to buy the same game 2 different times, and there were 2 different qualities of it. So as far as quality and playing your same save, your same game on the go, I think it works from that aspect. Now, Comic-Con Radio, if you're listening and you want me to write an article for Spoiler Magazine,
Hi, Force. No, terrible idea. No Bluetooth, freaking Wi-Fi to stream your game. Lag City, Sony dropped the ball there. I agree.
I
agree.
It's too little.
Didn't they have a PlayStation Portable at 1.2, a PSP?
Yes, and this is
yes,
PSP
I
again.
played the PSP. Yeah,
yeah, this is like another version of PSP, but
well,
this is with lag.
This is a combination because the PlayStation Vita had remote play on it. It was its own system, and it had remote play for the PlayStation 3 and 4. So it's just a step in the weird direction. And
I feel like it's way overpriced.
Yes, but it's middleware. So it's just the screen, the components, the prices will go down. I'm sure there'll be new versions eventually at some point in time that will have Bluetooth and they'll get to it. But this is just, I think, for someone who likes the game and who likes the game on the go, it has no purpose even for someone like me. And that's pretty bad.
Someone that's like, well, it's a game system, I'm going to buy it.
But it's not. It's
I
not.
know.
That's
the thing is, it's like, I don't. Okay, you know what? We'll go down a rabbit hole, and I don't want to. And I'm just gonna get saltier and saltier. And I just took my blood pressure medicine, so I really need my salt to stay low.
Yes.
Hey,
But
I think it's
yeah.
I like the PSP. The PSP was cool, but again, it's the whole too little, too late, and Sony just need to do better.
Yeah,
they're like DC catching up to Marvel.
Yeah,
trying, but not quite the same.
Too soon. Oh man, it's not cool.
No, they've got a good person at the helm. So
that's meant so.
The what? What did you say? Graveyard.
Someone's cooking things.
Too many cooks.
Sometimes it's like habit and thinking of Saber Rattle, and then my brain starts to. And I'm like, wait, I'm not supposed to be doing this.
I have a PlayStation 3.
So
that they made that was not the backwards compatible kind, which kind of pisses me off.
All right, but we got to get into these other things here. So
yeah, I know. Okay,
let's get into what one of the 2 things everyone's here to see and listen to. But without further ado, we have to get into Force Visions.
Force Visions. And you know what? This song actually fits. Like, it fits Ahsoka. To me, it really does. So I love it. I really love it.
All right. So let's bring in Fray with the game. And to keep time short, when we agree with our stuff, with our votes, red, green, or yellow, just got to say it.
So red, green, or yellow.
Short. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Green, yellow. Okay.
Okay. I am going to do a recap. I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. And for those who haven't seen it, I did not give everything away. If you do not want to know anything about Ahsoka, please come back in a few minutes. Ask in the chat.
Yes,
we'll let you know.
Pull a James. Just throw your headphones off.
Right.
And then
don't like break anything, because we don't want you to spend an extra.
Yeah, I will be putting my sets off just for a few minutes. Just so I don't need to, So I can play the game, but I don't.
Yeah, you can play.
Force, absolutely. Put it in the Discord. We're keeping it there. We're keeping a spreadsheet. But anyway, go on, Fray.
All right. So in the Ahsoka recap, the first episode was called Master and Apprentice. And so this episode started in that classic Star Wars fashion, showing the cool villains dominating. And I mean, Morgan Elsbeth was a prisoner, blah, blah, blah. Cut to Ahsoka being cool on her, and she's continuing her mission from The Mandalorian, the last time we saw her there, where she's trying to track down Thrawn. So this is after that. So Morgan Elsbeth told her about Arcana, apparently. And so that's where she is. And it really gave me some Cal Kestis vibes in that first scene with her, because it's like that archaeology type thing. And there's that puzzle and she has to do and I was like, this is so like video game. It looked really cool. It looked like a scene from a video game. And there were HK-47s there, and I was like, is this a Coder reference? This is cool. I don't know if they were there before Coder, but I know they were in Coder too. So
Coder, for everyone doesn't know, Knights of the Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic. When I do know a game, I totally speak gamer. I'm just gonna say that. Sorry. And then Hugh Gang shows back up, and yes, it's David Tennant. It's our favorite doctor. It's Romance Doctor. And picks up, and then that picks it up. It's like you're right back into Rebels. Like as soon as you see him, the people that have seen Rebels, it's like you're just like, oh my god, and like Clone Wars, it's like you're just right back there. And he does a really good job. His like vocal acting with it. I don't know if he was there to do like motion capture or anything, but he did really well. It's a great year for David Tennant. And then after she finds the star map, she gets back in the ship, and there's this. I mean, how she leaves Arcana is probably one of the most Star Wars, especially animated Star Wars scene I think I've seen in all of Star Wars, because it's that he's like, oh, I'll touch down. She's like, nope, just keep going. You just keep going. That she jumps in, and it's great. It's a great scene. I just thought it was a great.
It's a shame that people forgot that you can run faster with the Force,
right? And you can jump jump further. So, but yeah, it was just really a cool thing, and her the way how she strategized to take out all of the HK droids was also really cool. She did the divide and conquer, and I thought that was a really interesting way of doing it. And then they go from there, they get to Home One. It's the first time we see Hera. It was a little weird that first time. I was like, whoa, I know that actress, and she's green now, and that's kind of weird. But by the time, like, when they were in there doing the scene where they see Baylan and Shin first, like the first time, and that, I was like, every time I saw her, I got a little bit more comfortable with it. And especially when in episode 2, you get that scene between her and Chopper, I was like, oh my God, this is just Hera. And you haven't seen Rebels, so it's probably not as good for you, right? You haven't. Okay. So, damn it. Can Phil and James, why can't you guys come on here occasionally so I can say, remember this? And you go, oh yeah.
Right. I'll play along. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Remember it just like it was yesterday.
Yeah. All right. So basically everybody, when they get to Home One, everybody gets caught up on what everybody else is doing. So Hera gets caught up on Ahsoka's mission. Ahsoka gets caught up on Lady Morgan Elsbeth being, rescued from her prison, or her going to prison. And then they find out the star map's locked. They can't unlock it. They got to go to Sabine. So we go back to party on Lothal, people. And when I say that, I mean that. There is a party on Lothal, because it is in remembrance of the Battle of Lothal, with a really cool animated style mural that is in there. It's just amazing. So if you guys are Rebels fans, oh man, and Clancy Brown being Ryder, I turned to husband and I was like, is he playing? I mean, I couldn't finish it. Like, I was like, is that, oh my God, really? Because Ryder's in Rebels, and he's actually he was the governor before, and then he gets to be the governor now. So it's a pretty big thing in Rebels, so I won't spoil any of that, but it's just neat. And then, but before we get, so he's there, they're celebrating the Battle of Lothal. Sabine's supposed to talk. She doesn't, because it's Sabine. She's not going to do that. But we do see a really cool chase, like I guess Star Wars version of a car chase scene. And yeah, so especially I guess in this. And then we see that Sabine is actually back she's staying in Ezra's old place, the abandoned communications tower. Ahsoka goes to Lothal. They meet. There's tension. It's all a thing. The star map is locked. Sabine says, well, I can look at it. She wants to take it off the ship. Ahsoka doesn't want her to. She does it anyway. She unlocks it. I'm leaving a lot of stuff out. There's a really cool like little mall scene with Shin, who's the apprentice of Balin, who was a Jedi. We're not sure what happened with all of that. It's all mystery. It's mysterious. And
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Sorry. And then so it ends with a lightsaber duel between Shin and Sabine. And Sabine is using Ezra's lightsaber. So I'm not going to tell you. It ends on a kind of a cliffhanger. And so I said, thank goodness we got 2 in one night, because it really does. And if we had just gotten the one, whoo, Star Wars fandom would have been really mad. All right. And then, so in the second one called Toil and Trouble, which is aptly named because they do talk about the witches of Dathomir, or the Night Sisters of Dathomir. So it is about witchery. But it opens in a hospital room, and Sabine is basically catching everybody up on what happened, and they got the map. And so so Ahsoka basically finds a way to get one of the HK's heads, and Sabine almost blows up the hospital trying to figure out where it's from. Classic Sabine. And then
I know, right?
Just sounds
right,
like my spirit character.
Right. Sabine is very much, she's a Mandalorian, but she is Chaos Queen, I'm telling you. All right. And loves blowing stuff up. So they find out where the HK droid was, like where it was commissioned, and that was Corellia. Corellia, Han Solo's home planet.
Yep.
And so they head to Corellia. And so it's Hera and Ahsoka, because Sabine is still in the hospital. So they head to Corellia. They talk to a guy who was on House. He played one of the interns on House. And he's really good in this. It's a great performance of him. Very, very, very smarmy. And oh yeah, definitely. And then this leads to a very spectacular lightsaber training exercise and a really fun phantom try to catch up to a transport leaving for parts unknown. And the scene that is the most Rebels like in this one is, and it's intercut, so it's Ahsoka battling Marok, and intercut with the Phantom and Hera and Chopper having their conversation, and it's just magnificent. Chopper is the Sith Lord that he has always been, and we love him for it. And the way that Hera, the dialogue, all of it, still in line with Rebels. You felt like you were there, and the Ahsoka stuff on the ground was like you were intercutting with like Kanan and Ezra battling. So it was very much a Rebel scene, that whole thing. And it ended in a very, like, they find out, oh, hey, here's where it's going to be, here's where we're going. And they find that out just in the nick of time, because Sabine has decided she wants to be Ahsoka's Padawan again. And there's a really cool little scene of her getting her armor back together and cutting her hair and having her helmet and then getting back together to get in the ship, and Ahsoka hasn't said whether or not she's going to accept her or not. And there's a really cool end scene about that. And so it's just really, it's nice. It was a good 2-part opener, and I thought that they did really well. Everybody did really well. There were some really cute cameos. If you have seen Rebels, you're definitely going to get some, squeeze about it because of that. But yeah, so.
All right. So do you have who got points? We can just say point wise.
All right. Graveyard has no points.
Yes.
And you guys can say yes or no on this. I thought I would get 10,000 because it would be 20,000 for this. So and it was just because I said that a clue to Thrawn would present itself. I feel like that got there. I didn't get the training montage of Sabine, so I only gave myself half points. I felt like that is what we did. And I didn't say Thrawn would be in an episode, but I just said we'd get a clue to him. Mezzo got 10,000 because of the first mission. They got that in episode 2.
Having not seen them yet, I'm a little excited that I got points.
Yeah. Young Phil got 10,000 because although he said Thrawn shows up, he said that Baylan and Shin go after Ahsoka, and they do at the end of episode 2. There's that mission for them as well. And then James got no points because he said no, he didn't have any idea for the first 2, and he wanted to start in 3. And then Shadu also got 10,000 because he said that there would be a recap and intros to where the characters currently are, and that is true. We did get an intro to where the characters currently are. So
okay,
that's where we stand.
All right, we will put that. If you haven't put that in the Discord.
I will. I just did the point, so I will.
Yeah, and what I can do is what I do for point wise is we'll take pictures of our faces and we'll put our point totals and we'll put that as an overlay to put on the screen for everyone to see.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
So, all right. So, are we ready to do the predictions for this episode?
I am.
Okay. You're on screen. Why don't you go first?
All right. I think I think this is gonna be okay. I gotta figure out how to word it. All right. So I think we're gonna get the first battle between Baylan and Ahsoka in this next episode.
Okay.
And the reason is I'm taking that because there's that scene where they're fighting and it looks like it's the same place where they currently are on Cetos. And I think that's going to be the next episode where she's going to fight Baylan. I don't know. I doubt either one is going to be killed in this. I think Baylan's going to make it till the end and then he may be killed then. But I don't know.
Okay. So we're saying green is the most, then yellow, then red, correct?
Yes. So green is 100% confident. Yellow is 50% confident, and red is 0% confident.
All right. So yeah. So chat. If you're watching this now, or comment below red, yellow, and green for points and see if you agree. Mezzo, what do you think?
Yellow. I just tried to put it in the chat and it looks really stupid.
Yellow.
I say yellow, but part of that is because since I haven't seen the first 2 episodes, my feel for the future ones is kind of, unsteady. So I'll probably say yellow in general for everyone, just because I don't know how to perceive the future ones.
No worries.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna say green. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm gonna say green.
All right. Yellow for me.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I'll put that in the chat. All right.
Yay.
So,
and chat also, everybody in chat, do the yellow, green, red.
Yep. So my prediction is going to be a little more. Okay, so I think that the build to Ezra being found it's going to be a big suspense build up. I think if they find, hopefully they find him at the end of the season, but I think we're going to have a small little clue, and it's going to be the first little taste of Ezra possibly being in the season, like a clue of where he might be, kind of like how we might know where Luke might be, kind of a thing, but this time it's like Ezra. One little thing will happen, and it'll be like Ahsoka will be like, what? So that's my attempt at a theory when I haven't seen any of the show yet.
I haven't even seen the show, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So
all right, I will give that a green.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
too. I'll give that a green. I think,
I could
yeah, I
agree.
think we could get an Ezra clue. I mean, I'm just like picking like just like one certain like part of it. There's like 5 stories already
Oh, yeah.
going on. It's like there's
Oh,
so
I'm
much.
sure.
So
Ewan McGregor's wife is playing one of the characters, right?
yeah, she's Hera.
She's Hera.
She's Hera. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Here's
Captain,
the ultimate Star Wars couple.
What did you guys-
do you-
Mary
Captain, do
Elizabeth.
you have
whatever.
any predictions?
I was just gonna say green because I don't have.
Okay,
I don't know what's
that's
going on.
That's fine.
So I'm saying green just because that's. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling green.
Okay.
Like the theory I just made, Aubrey, has like nothing to do with what has been shown in the actual show. It just is based off of knowing some tiny bit of history of the previous animated shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I figured that was.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah. Man, she's typing
That's
again
how
out loud.
That is how I am.
I'm typing out loud. Oh, I need to make like some slightly gibberish phrase that still makes sense, and then
And just say sorry.
and then
my typing
afterwards,
was-
sorry, I'm typing out loud.
Yes.
That's funny. See, that's a short.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. So my prediction for the show is essentially we're seeing them building for all my Stargate SG-1 fans, the Apollo cruiser to go through the jump gate, to go through the Stargate. That's what they're doing to get to the slightly, maybe farther away galaxy. I've read some articles. People are saying it's breaking that tradition because it's a galaxy far, far away, and we're going to a different galaxy. Who knows? That galaxy
Interesting.
could be a little bit further away or a little bit closer. Who knows?
our
I
galaxy.
Maybe
think
it's our
Who
galaxy.
knows?
Maybe
That's
they're
what-
moving to our galaxy.
maybe.
The Milky Way galaxy.
I
With the
think-
Purgles all the time.
It's the Delta Quadrant. We're going to the Delta Quadrant, guys.
All right. My prediction is going to be that they will send something through that jump gate, that they will finish that map, and it will end with them as someone escaping through the jump gate to the next galaxy.
Oh, you think that's gonna happen in the next episode? Okay.
I think by the end, yes. So I don't think we're gonna have a 2 to 3 episode build up to get through that gate. I think they'll go through it, and there'll be stuff that appears in there that we don't know quite yet. So I think we'll get that someone's escaping or someone jumping through that gate.
You got it.
What do you, Fray? Red, yellow, green.
I mean, I tend to agree with you that I don't think they're going to. There's a lot of story that they have to push through.
Mhm.
So I think we're going to get stories closer to the first episode length than we are to the second episode length, which it was like 35 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
So we may get like a 45-minute one next. And I think that I think you're right. I think we can have Baylan and Ahsoka have their first fight, and that's what's delaying them so that the Eye of Sion can get,
Right.
up, and Sabine's going to see that, and guess who's going to go? She's going to go and she's going to save everything. She's going to go get Ezra. No, that's too positive, too early in the season. But I do think that I'm gonna say green. I'll say green. I'm gonna give you a green. I was gonna go yellow, but I talked myself into green. You're welcome.
Thank you, Captain.
I'm gonna go for a yellow on this one.
Okay.
Again, this is just not known. It just in terms of pacing, I don't know if that's gonna. They might do it. They might delay it to the next episode, but I'm not sure.
Mezzo.
Actually, I'm gonna give that one a green.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just think I think we won't see what's on the other side this episode.
I think that's where the yellow is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where the yellow is.
So,
But you might be right. Actually, if they're doing Ezra points, then if we think they're going to go more into that, then yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I'll change my prediction. I'll change my thing to a yellow.
all right.
I think there's just too much story for them to like put it on pause so long. I mean,
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say if they did, they're going to just delay it by
Oh, yeah.
If they don't do it by this one, then it's going to be that slow build up like the Death Star type thing.
Yep.
And we won't see Thrawn until the end of the series. I mean, that, you know, like it's either going to be one way or the other. I don't think they're going to be like, okay, not this episode, but next up. You know, I just don't see Filoni doing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think we'll get both Ezra and Thrawn at the same time.
So
Honestly.
then you don't believe the theory about Marek and Ezra?
I know that theory. It's an interesting theory. I don't think so. But
what do you think the over or under is for it being a clone of Anakin?
Welcome back, Phil.
I think
he heard clone of Anakin. Ooh.
Honestly,
Wait, Anakin clone. What?
Honestly, if it's gonna be clone of anyone, I want this to be the introduction of Mara Jade, and it's Luke's clone.
Yeah, I want Mara Jade.
Because
I want me some Mara Jade.
Because we need the hand of the Emperor to help bring him back somehow.
Right. Well, see, and I was wondering if that's what they were trying, that they were going to bring something in this series that was like the clone stuff. Like, just, this is, you know, we're taking stuff and, oh, there is a Force sensitive that, you know, and that's why I was like, is this them doing that? Because like the whole Ezra thing, that means Thrawn can come back anytime he wants. If Ezra can find a way back, Thrawn can find a way back.
And Thrawn is much smarter.
Yeah, and so I don't see that. So I don't see it as that. I do see that it could be, you know, there's something about Starkiller going around, and that's just as easily, you know. But I'm like, I don't know if I want it to be Starkiller. You know, it's like I don't know. So and
I mean,
Captain
the games
Lady
are
Moon,
canon.
To answer your question, like they're so in Heir of the Empire, there's like Balin. Someone's a clone of Anakin, an older clone of Anakin in that series. And so in the book series, and so everybody's making the assumption we're going to see some sort of clone in this, but they're like, no, I don't think it's Balin. And you know, and so they're like, maybe it's Shen, maybe it's, you know, Marok, maybe it's, you know, and so everybody's just, all of these clone conspiracies are exploding right now. And so,
no,
we're just going through them all.
Yes.
Having clones are interesting.
Yeah. I just want I want Luke's clone. I want the dark Luke, and I want Mara Jade to come. So that's why I'm rooting for. That'd be, if I was to change my prediction for the overall arcing series, that'd be Luke's clone from his hand.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And the way I was like, so I rewatched Ahsoka last night because I was bored. And the way that Marok looks, they never, and it's a male body stunt.
But they're not showing his face.
But they're not showing his face. It's a full mask. But he never quite stands completely up, like full height. And he's always like a little crouched down and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so that tells me they're trying to hide the height of the person, or the person that's doing the stunt work is taller than the person that's playing the actual person.
Right.
And so that's what that told me. So I'm like, okay, they're trying a little subterfuge with this character, but I don't know if it's someone we know or someone will be really surprised it is when we see who they are.
Well,
so that was my thing.
Without getting too much of it, because we got to get the captain's log.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just was I really
totally
wanted
fine.
Opinions,
just
so.
I just because it's a man's body, Taskmaster in Black Widow was a man's body as well, and that was not a man. So
no, I know. I was saying that didn't matter, but just the crouching and stuff, that's what made me think that it could be, a male trying to be a little bit smaller so that it, when it's revealed as a woman, then it, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I was just like, well, this is interesting. I didn't, I was just watching it to watch it. And then I noticed that. And I was like, All right, let's move on.
All right. So once again, everyone who wants to participate and let us know red, yellow, or green in the Discord server, in the chat, in the comments. Let us know. Play this game with us. We're excited to this go. But without further ado, our nerd out segment for today is the one and only Captain's Log.
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my background here.
Graveyard, you know the face I made? You saw me make that face.
Mhm.
I went to throw trash away that was 5.5 feet and I missed.
Oh.
All right.
So
we are in the Captain's Log at the moment. Yeah, so I was going to have this whole thing and I just didn't have it prepared, but I'm going to talk about Strange New World. So stardate 7265.
I just love you having your own background.
Thank you. So if you don't know already, I'm a huge nerdy Trekkie nerd, and I know way too much about Star Trek. So I want to talk a little bit about the episode called The Cage. No one knows what that is. That was the first pilot that was not released by Gene Roddenberry. In that they filmed the first pilot, and it was not with Kirk and all of your favorite people, but it was with a man named Pike, Christopher Pike to be exact. And in the pilot, the first pilot, you had a lot of progressive things that were not okay in like 1965. So they had a second in command woman. And it was this very cerebral story about this planet called Taos 4. Oh my gosh, I am not awake. Taos 4. And I know I am so not awake. It was a copy. Wait, what? Wait,
They made the same joke last time you had Captain's Log. James.
Captain Kirk Lavatory. Did they find a Captain's Kirk Lavatory? Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. All right, I'm not talking about Captain Kirk. I am talking about Captain Pike. So, anyways, the show was not aired, and they cut up pieces of it to make an episode called The Menagerie, which showed that Captain Pike, was injured severely in an accident, and they had to go back to Taos 4 and he got basically kind of a happy ending. So they finally released The Cage in the 80s after the syndication. And we got to see the original episode in its entirety. Then, so coming back to 2018, when Discovery Season 2 aired, we got to see the Enterprise under the helm of Captain Pike. Not Kirk, Pike. Thus launching the series Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds, I say, is a huge watch. You should always, I say everyone needs to go and watch it because it's fantastic. So you've got some of your old, characters, the legacy characters they had that are being played by obviously younger actors. This takes place about 7 years before. Well, season 2 is about 7 years, but it's basically during Captain Pike's 5-year mission that we did not see from the first pilot. You have Anson Mount playing Christopher Pike, who was originally played by Jeffrey Hunter. And the reason why Jeffrey Hunter was not in the original series is because, well, A, he was tied up in by the time the filming for the second pilot came around, he actually was on other projects. And B, by the time they started getting syndication, he actually died. He died really early. He actually died from a brain aneurysm in the shower at 41. So unfortunately, they couldn't really bring him back for other things, for other projects for Star Trek when Star Trek got big, because he was already dead by that time. It was actually rather tragic. Jeffrey Hunter was a fantastic star, did a lot of really great things. He was in The Searchers. So it was really quite sad that we didn't get to really see him. But you have Pike being played by Anson Mount, who really does the character so much justice, really brings that warmth, but also that gentleness and introspectivity that was all there in Christopher Pike, in Jeffrey Hunter's Christopher Pike. But there's like this warmth that happens. So then you see all of the interactions you have with each of the crew members, and by second season just ended, and for myself, I became attached to every single. I'm attached now to every single character on there, and they're following pretty well to how to where everyone goes into place by the time you get to the TOS, which is just I'm enjoying how they did it. They have some really fantastic episodes. There's a crossover episode with Lower Decks, which is another Star Trek series that they have on Paramount Plus right now, and it is an animated series, funny enough. And it's called These Old Scientists, and it is just fantastic work that they did to make Lower Decks work with Strange New Worlds. There is one of the standout episodes for this season is the musical, which if you hate musicals, well, I think you're gonna like this musical because it's fantastic. There are some surprise twists and turns that they have. They make the storyline for it just fantastic. The singing is really great, and it follows the rules of a musical, and they're very self-aware. It's got this very self-aware nature to it, and it's just, the writing is so good on this show that I think it's some of the best writing I have seen to date for Star Trek since they started coming out with new episodes, new things for Star Trek. I think Picard, because the Picard series has some good, some bad, and some ugly, and I don't think the writing is completely there. I think one of the detractors from like Discovery and Picard is that it has a much shorter span for seasons, so they have to rush everything. But going back to because it's a semi encapsulated show for Strange New Worlds, it is fine in the 10 episode thing. I still wish we had the 26 episode, but they somehow got the pacing exactly right for the 10 episode series, that it's not to the point where it is like, it doesn't feel like it's a rushed pacing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're able to work a lot of things in that constraint while keeping it very much consigned to like encapsulating the episode while still bringing back previous elements from the previous episodes. So second season really is just, it's really getting right exactly what is great about Star Trek, moving along, keeping that pace really well. Whereas I think things like the other shows like Discovery had ultimately failed because the pacing was off, which is my big critique of Discovery. Now, it's interesting that they have the episodes in the animated series, like Lower Decks. They have that in a longer story format, a longer episode format. I wish they did that again with Strange New Worlds, but the 10 episode is fine. By the time you get to Picard season 3, there's a lot of positives, but there's also a lot of negatives. There's rushing of things there, but it still is okay pacing. Strange New Worlds is great new pacing. So with that being said, I want to keep this really short because I don't want us to go too much over time. That is my Captain Logs for today. Please go watch Strange New Worlds. I swear it will make you a Trekkie because it's fantastic.
So I gotta ask you a question, because obviously, you're talking about the 26 episode series, and then really most TV now streaming at least is that 10 episodes. Do you feel like it's taken away because the original series gave us essentially the creature of the week, the world of the week, or the species of the week, and which really
always
started that.
Yes.
It started that, which was carried on into like X-Files and Supernatural, where we have the main story arc that's about 6 to 8 to 10 episodes over that 26 episode thing. Do you do you feel like that's missing it with it being a shorter series?
It's not even necessary that it has to be the creature of the week, because when we get to Deep Space Nine, that does not become a thing.
Okay.
Because that's when you had serialization happening, and they made it work for 26 episodes. But yet you did get your little fillers, quote unquote fillers. I don't think any of them are fillers, but they're basically character development episodes. You see characters develop. You see them getting these, and again, I don't think it's necessarily bad. I do wish that not the episodes, but I do wish that the seasons were longer. I get behind the scenes why they're saying 10 is the perfect amount, quote unquote. Has to do with money, obviously.
Right.
But the reason why I think that the 24, 26 episode formula worked so well is because we got to grow with these characters. They gave us a chance to grow and to learn about them and to see about them, which to me, really endears you to them. Now, to be fair, some of the episodes in Strange New Worlds are so good that you get that sense of feeling where you get to know these characters. And yes, it's a much higher pace of it, but like Mbenga, Joseph Mbenga is like such a highlight of Strange New Worlds. I am really sad that he was not in the original series, because I would love to see more of Mbenga. Fantastic character. He is one of the serious highlights of the show. There's an episode about Mbenga specifically in season 2. I don't want to put any spoilers, so I'm not here to spoil it. That displays so well what people go through after trauma, that it hits you. If you've ever experienced any trauma and experienced the effects of trauma, it hits you so heavily in the feels that you relate to him so much. And but again, if you're not a huge Star Trek fan but you're trying to get into the Star Trek, I will say that is the caveat of the 10 episode. You don't have to go through, especially when you're in season 1 and season 2, where the show is trying to get its footing. It does help to endear you to those episodes, so you're not slogging. I don't call it a slog, but you're not slogging through the turkey episodes. The terrible episodes that do not age well at all. I'm looking at you, TNG. There are some turkeys in your first 2 seasons together. Holy crap! Some of them you could take them out and you don't need them at all. They're not very good, and you can just skip right through them. I will say that there are not any turkeys in these episodes, in the 10 episode format, that I would say is. Yeah, I agree that you could put less filler episodes in their runs, but also you're missing some of these ones that really are exploring the character arcs. Like in Deep Space Nine, there are some episodes you're like, you don't need it per se, but yet they're really good to have. And the ones that I'm thinking of are especially in season 7, when you have a new character like Ezri Dax who has to come in, and you have to. I went and did a full rewatch of Deep Space Nine recently, and those episodes you have there, just Ezri episodes, really endeared me to her character. Whereas before, I did not like her at all because she was a replacement for Jadzia Dax.
Yeah.
But you grow to really like her, and if you didn't have those filler episodes, I don't think that you would get to know her or like her as a character by the end of the season as much. So there are those. In Discovery, I'm hopping to different shows here, just real quick. In Discovery, we have a character named Ash, and he has a reveal, and they do that reveal so fast that I guessed it right away. But 2, it was so rushed that you don't get any time with that character. You're like, yeah, you're like, I don't even care. Why do I care? Why are we here?
Right.
You don't feel any of that hit in the feels, that hit of those waves of betrayal or sadness because of the rushed pacing of the 10 episodes. You need episodes that are filler episodes to endear you to these characters, so you get to know them. There is a episode in season 1 of Strange New Worlds that does exactly that. In that case, does it have anything to do with the character, the series arc? No, but it gives you this fun episode where you get to know all of these characters. Same with the musical episode. Do they really need a musical episode? No, but it endears you to all these characters. You're like, yes, I'm here for this. But it also does a few things to also move the story along so that you, again, feel you get to know all these characters and see the inner workings of all of them. So it's beautifully paced show. It's one of the best Star Trek in the series to me, that really kind of brings all these together. Is it perfect? No, but it is a fantastic watch, and I was deeply involved with each episode. There you go.
Awesome.
Yay.
Also, they have huge love letters to TOS.
Nice.
It's huge letters to the original series,
Awesome.
especially in Discovery episode 2 or 3, I believe. They have this huge love letter to the Cage. It made me cry. Because the Cage is my favorite episode of the original series. There are a few others that I really love, but
good.
the Cage is such a great episode. It makes me cry every time I watch it, and it really hits you in these really deep introspective moments of like what it means to be human and how are you human, and what it's like for people who've never seen humans before. How do they interact with a human and then realize their mistakes later? And it's just so beautiful and so compassionate. Really, it's everything you want in science fiction. It's great. Anyways, that is my Captain's log for today, and I'm going to go back to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Captain.
That was awesome.
Thank you. That wraps about this episode. So since Captain, you're on screen, give us your pluggables. We can end.
My pluggables are: I am here basically 4 days a week, sometimes 3-4 days a week. I'm here on the Saturday morning Nerd Out, and I'm here on Wednesdays. Aw, thank you, man. And Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Saturday. Also, we will be recording very, very, very soon the first episode of the New Order.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, it is almost here. It is coming. We are getting the finishing touches on it, and we have been planning to record. We just have to get everyone together to do recordings for it.
Yes.
Also, you can check me out on Spotify. I have new music that will be coming out. I've been doing music for this show, for these shows. There'll be more music to come on these shows. And also, I am, as Metro put out, I'm on Spotify.
Bangers.
Thank you. I did a lot of work for that. The one I'm working on right now is such a behemoth of a piece, but I'm super excited for it. There's gonna be more stuff coming. I've got projects that I'm working on that will be for movie stuff, which is just great. I'm excited. So doing lots of projects. You will see them eventually, but they are coming to you. Please check out my music on Spotify. You can go to BYL Dreams, or you can also go to Spotify, look up Unexpected Journey by Aubrey McCoy. You can find it there. And I'm Captain out.
Fray.
Hi, I'm Fray.
Hey.
Gosh, I feel like I've been on the screen so much this week because of Thursday. All right. I am here every Saturday for the Saturday morning Nerd Out, whether I want to be or not. I mean, because I love it so much. No, it's kidding. And
No.
no, I do love it. I love to nerd out. It's getting to sickness now, and my husband is demanding I stop when I'm not doing this stuff. And I also have my own channel called it's Fray Girl. Hey, Mezzo with she had it ready. It was in the chamber. She had it going.
I know she had these all in the chamber,
Yeah.
dude. This is the.
It's called a stream deck.
Yeah,
I have everything pre-programmed.
We just actually premiered an episode. It's been a week and a half, I think, almost 2 weeks. But it is called Classified. We take your fandoms, your favorite fandoms, and we class them into D&D classes. So we did the Bad Batch, and there were some surprises in there. We don't just do the heroes, we did the heroes and the villains, and it was pretty fun to record. Hopefully you guys will like it. If you haven't seen it yet, just go to my channel. We're doing a supplemental series for each class with the subclasses. So if you're not familiar with D&D, you'll be able to understand why we're filming them like that and what each class actually means. So, and expect those to be out soon. We'll do those once a week, and there's 13 episodes there. And then I'm also on Distance Nerding on Tuesdays for the download. I am in the Discord for both channels, the download and KCP. I mod for them. We love to talk to you guys in there. I do a Fray About Town on Patreon, and you can subscribe, or you can be a patron for as little as $1 a month for that. But yeah, and then I'm gonna be on the New Order show. And
yes,
we have to
talk about your character.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm gonna be a cool little beastling. It should be fun. I have a feeling that Aubrey wants me to be less chaotic, but that's okay.
Nope, that's not why we need to talk about your character. No, I am excited for all of your characters. Actually, they're all really great. So I expect
they'll either outlive everyone
it's gonna be chaos.
Or die right off. It will not be in between. So.
All right, thank you, Fray. Metso.
Hi, so I'm Metso. I am on here roughly 2 to 3 days a week with an upload as well. If you'd like to catch me on Twitch, I will be starting to stream in October. I will post a link in the chat. You can also catch me on Twitter / X for @MetsoJD.
Love you.
I refuse to call it the other thing. I just call it.
She's literally one of the MVPs of this channel.
She is
MVP.
This channel would not exist in the form that it does without Metso.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, and you catch me on Instagram as well. MetsoJD. I'm at MetsoJD everywhere. Thankfully, nobody had that name, so I was able to make that everything.
So I feel about Lucy and the Fair, except some people have it, and I'm like, no, don't take my moniker.
I took my own moniker and then forgot how to get back into most everything. So.
Oh no!
All right, thank you, Metso. I am Graveyard. You can find me here every Saturday morning, nerding out with these lovely people here, as awesome as they are. I love it. I will not be here next week, but everyone else will be here, so I'm excited for that. You can find me on Retro Alcove. New uploads every Monday. And
we have to get our Retro Alcove on.
Yes. Yeah. And hopefully as soon life straightens itself out, you can find me back on Kyber Cave Gaming live on Thursdays, where Captain herself, or hopefully the Broken Forge, will come back and we can get these games going again. I'm excited to get back to it. He's
got that back to tank going 24/7 right now. So.
I'm also a co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night Mostly podcast. You can find that on comicconradio.com. You can find us at the website that Metso put here for me as well. So make sure to check that out. You can follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. And we have a new show, Conversations of the Voice, starting in a week or two, with artwork by lovely Metso, music by Captain herself. So I'm excited for that, to get that going. And you can find me doing brackets with so much salt on Distance Nerding on Thursdays with the build. So yes, so thank you everyone for being here, and so thank you Cavers, Dwellers, and Splunkers for joining us today. We love you all. Make sure to check out Saber Rattle tomorrow night. Metso, who's our guest?
Christian Castro of Saberflex Workshop. He has a new Saber coming out, so you'll find out more about that if you tune in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific.
Yes, so make sure to like, comment, subscribe. The more subscribers yes, the more options you have to win a lightsaber. So we just gave one 2 weeks ago. So
yes, and the one at 1500 is a NeoPixel.
Ooh, so yes, so make sure to share this
tomorrow night.
Yes, so make sure to share this, because the more subscribers, the faster we give away free lightsabers. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night on Saber Rattle. Bye.
Bye.